All
Hey,
right, guys. So let's start off with, because I said last time I was with you all, and by the way, congratulations, you all did a great job. I saw the video. You all worked well together. So let me ask real quick, how did that go? How'd it go for you guys?
I thought it went awesome. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, that was my brag about you in the video, was that you guys had so much value out of this program. You could not wait another week and you wanted to keep going. And so on your own, you took it on. That's the best part a teacher can do, is to impart with their students that they can do this on their own. And that's exactly what you guys did. So I made a video, but it was me talking about you. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to kind of go round robin, and every one of you just talk really briefly what you've been getting out of this, and if you feel others should join here and why. And anything specific and measurable, like Robert, you got 4 new clients out of this, that sort of thing. So everybody okay with that? Real quick. All right. So who would like to start? Go ahead, Robert.
Okay, so for me, what immediately comes to mind is, and you guys have heard this over and over again, being a solopreneur. A lot of times I'm just here alone, and it's important to have a community that I can check in with about what I'm doing, you know, what I've done, what's working, what's not working, what are challenges, what am I learning, what, you know, resetting goals and getting feedback, you know, because solopreneur can, you know, it's like we used to see in new teachers when I was in my education background. If they were struggling, they kind of close the door and not talk to anybody. So it was important to create a mentorship program in the faculty so that person wouldn't isolate themselves when they were, you know, because they start feeling self-conscious, you start feeling you're doing something wrong and you're a failure and you shut yourself down, and that's just not healthy. And it's been really vital to my success to be able to have this community to check in with. So,
And what has been some of your success out of this?
well, I feel like accountability has been big, you know, because you can lose track, you know. So it's nice to have those bookends. You know, these are landmarks in my week, and you know, it's you know, I'm just being more mindful, and my funnel's filling up because I'm engaged in those activities that I've set down to go. You know, kept my goals simple, but they create a momentum, and my funnel's filling up with, you know, potential and good clients, and I feel like I'm mastering no longer just I'm becoming I'm seeing a referral process. You know, my referral community as a sales process, not just my sales process, but my referral relationships as a process there too. And I became aware of that and being more mindful of it. And it's I'm literally just scratching the top of a really big iceberg the size of Antarctica, the potential there. And I'm so excited. And to have Steve's curriculum at Caerusnet, that really that grounds me, because I'm an artist, I'm a creative, so I got to have a curriculum, and so it, you know, it really helps me. So that's my testimony.
And then you've actually gotten real clients out of this so far, haven't you?
Well, yes, I do have a vivid imagination, but no, I sorry, Steve knows me too well, but I do. It's definitely been, there's concrete things happening, you know, and I'm applying a lot of this to my new relationship with a new chamber I've joined too, and 700 plus businesses that I'm now have access to, and I'm going to a lot of events, and so I'm really, you know, that's my laboratory to apply what I'm learning here. So
Perfect. And you've gotten four new business clients out of this, right?
at least, you know,
Great.
I feel like I've got a nice funnel.
Very
that's
good.
starting to form, and you know, and I'm seeing my Caerusnet. I'm a lot more effective in my Caerusnet group, my referral net, you know, a lot more mindful, a lot more. But you know, it's funny. It's like when Robert Kimball taught us about how to be great teachers. He's like, you're going to realize your professors are the worst teachers in the world. So, you know, I'm looking at my Caerusnet group going, hey guys, we gotta take this up, you know, a notch, because I'm taking it up a notch, 10 notches. And I want to try and do that, you know, become an educator to my team in a positive way. And that, you know, I mean, being a Detroiter, I just want to hit them in the head and tell them, let's go. But yeah, it's going to be a process. It's also pointing out, to me what I wasn't doing, but also my community and my Caerusnet group could really benefit.
Great.
So
Who else would like to share? Go ahead, Kim.
Okay, good morning. So I did share this in the group this morning, Steve. So here's my big takeaway is we're constantly learning. I'm constantly trying to improve myself and how to get better. I know when I entered like your group, Steve, I was looking for like, how do I make that pitch to make it an aha that people are going to want to ask questions? I'm not out to sell anybody. I'm out to get them to ask for more. So what this process has done is we can talk about that. And it's like, okay, how does this sound? What is it? And they're helping me build that pitch. And what you did this morning, Steve, love that. I totally changed my script. You don't know how many times I've changed my 1 minute meeting, whatever, member minute. I've changed it so many times. So what this process has done is I constantly keep rewriting it because I don't want to come across as that, sleazy, salesperson. I'm out to educate people. So I'm constantly learning. I know I'm not the smartest person in the room, so I'm open to critiques. And this group has helped that. What you said, Robert, as far as weekly goals and accountability, absolutely. I mean, the weekly things that I have down, I do have those normally, but this is just the accountability again. It's like, okay, I know I got to because I'm meeting with the pod, and I have to write out. So it just holds my feet to the fire a little bit more, and it pushes me, and I'm setting realistic goals. So when we step away and say what didn't work, it's like, well, when I was like cramming, trying to build my calendar, to set a goal of reaching out to 10 people when I'm building a calendar, out as my other goal, they were conflicting. So, I realized how to set my goals so that I meet those expectations. The other thing is, as much as Steve says in our groups about like trust and how to hold the trust builder meetings, to actually put it into practice and do that and follow our UST. I don't know that we were ever really doing that. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And we talk for an hour, right? But we actually go through the process. And Robert, you actually helped that, right? Because I think we got through tea and then we had Rust still to go. So we did a follow-up call. But because of that, I remember trust. I remember that because I remember it's like, okay, we had Rust left. And so I always remember that acronym. And I find that I'm carrying that through to my personal, like when somebody reached out to me and I wrote that down, and it's okay, because now I'm looking for not how can I make this sale, but how can I help you? And Robert and this whole team has helped me structure that of, how can I help you and turn it around? So I'm doing that and practicing that more. As a result, I have gotten referrals, and I find that I'm a better referral because I didn't know. It's like, I don't know these people. How am I going to refer them? But as I started setting up more and more trust builder meetings, and I'm like, oh, Jessica, you do this for the church. And Robert, when you said church, and all of a sudden we started making these connections, it made it easier for me to, like put you in touch and refer, pass the ball to you. So it's been incredible. It really has. So
what I'm hearing you say, Kim, is it went from surface conversations to deeper conversations, because now you are more in tune to learning more about them. And when you get that, then you want to refer, not I have to refer or I should refer.
Yes.
You are now moved to refer people because you go, oh, now I get it. It's like I've connected you with one of the gym people I already know, and I've got you teed up for another one. So
yeah. And that's when we look for even like how can we, when we ask that question, it's like, okay, Robert, how can we work together? And we're looking for, because you're looking for referrals for me and I'm looking for referrals for you. So how can we do this and not compete with one another? And I've been more open and definitely more bold in asking that. It's like, okay, how can I help you? Right.
Very good. Very good. And you've been, I think in 1 week, Steve told me that you gave like 8 or 9 referrals in just 1 week.
You guys motivate. I'm like, yeah, because when we start talking, it's like, oh, I didn't know they did that. It's been cool.
Very cool.
You still have more to go too.
Yes. All right. Who else? Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Okay, go ahead.
So I came into this with a little bit of a different perspective, I feel, just in terms of not being the business owner myself. And I really wanted to, yes, get better at passing referrals and figuring out the right way to get referrals. But something that we're really trying to do at our company is become more of a community resource. And this group has really helped me kind of figure out a better way to maybe reach out to people. Before, I would have trust builders and they would always go great. And I've always been confident in my ability to like start and have good conversations with people. But at the end of the day, I think it was obvious that I was not the decision maker as far as like, oh, we're going to do business with you or we're going to help you out. And now I feel a lot more confident in being able to not make that decision because it still isn't quite up to me, but be able to have a meeting and say, yes, I'm confident we can help you, or here's what I think you should do, or here's someone you should talk to, and not have to necessarily go to, the higher ups here. And, they've trusted me with this as far as doing the networking on behalf of our company. And I feel a lot more confident in being able to bring in potential business, but also, be confident in saying, yes, we can help you, or I know people who can help you. So in that way, it's been really great. And I think everybody so far has touched on the accountability part of it. My job is very task-based. And for me, I think in some ways, networking kind of was always something I pushed to the side because it's not like necessarily a tangible item I can cross off my list or something I can see. I can have a meeting and maybe something comes out of it. But if it didn't, I kind of felt like, well, okay, I'd rather get back to something that I can do and get it done and get it off my list. I think of it a lot differently now. And, it's like a valuable piece of my work, and having the accountability piece to really focus on networking once a week has been really helpful. And I know that I'm having more conversations with people. We're setting up a lot more meetings with people in the Caerusnet group. And I just feel a lot more confident overall in like kind of handling this on behalf of our company, which is a big deal for me. So that's been really, really great. Just having I think Robert kind of said too, like the mindfulness of it. I guess that goes back to it being for me sort of like networking is such like a big term. What does that mean? How do you leverage it? How can it not only be helpful to me, but how can I be helpful to other people? Because the service we offer is on a pay scale that is just not doable for somebody, but how can I still provide value for them? How can I still, I don't ever want people to think I'm just trying to sell them something, like Kim mentioned too. I think we all have that feeling. And this meeting just has really helped me set aside the time to figure out the right way for me to interact with the community and really fulfill that goal of not just being like, oh, I'm looking for clients, but more coming from the other direction. How can I help? How can I help the other members of my group and even members outside the group? Robert and Kim and Denise, you're not in mine and Jessica's group. And also I've connected with other people that you guys have mentioned or have brought in, and, that doesn't always happen either. So that's been really great. But, I guess the last thing is just for me, this has been also, like Robert mentioned, I am alone in my office a lot, even though I am at this company, I'm doing my work by myself at my desk all day. And it has been nice to check in with people outside of my company to even give me feedback on, you guys have even given me feedback on client communication skills and just actual job related things, which is something I didn't expect coming into this pod. I thought it was going to be solely talking about Caerusnet and referring and networking. And it has been a lot of that, but it's also been really valuable for me as somebody who's trying eventually to work my way up in this company a little bit, to have really valuable business advice, honestly, from my peers, because I don't always get that here. We're a very small company and I'm alone by myself a lot here. So that part has really been invaluable to me, developing this trust in these relationships with you guys. And I think it's made me a better employee and a better, kind of member of my Caerusnet group overall.
Very good. Well, here's what I love about what you talked about, Katie, is you went from, again, many of us come into these groups on a surface level. Well, how do I get business? How do I get business, right? And we look at each other and we start to say, well, you can't afford my services, or you're not someone I could work with. So we kind of quickly negate that person. and we might go through a trust builder because we know we're supposed to do that. But what you have, you and Jessica in particular, well, and Kim's doing this too, is you're now taking it to your clients, your own customers, and you're using the same concept of getting to know them at a deeper level, and you're uncovering new opportunities of how to help and serve them or connect them with others. So that's great. Very proud of you. So Jessica, on that note, I want to bounce it off to you because this is right up your alley.
I definitely agree with everything everybody else has said. I really started out using this pod as a way to get to know my customers a little bit better. A lot of them I've emailed and taken their orders for 20 years, but never really had much of a conversation outside of what cartridge do you need and have a great weekend. So it's gotten me a lot more comfortable asking my customers questions just to learn about them and get to know them on a more personal level, as well as what else we can sell them. Like with Zingerman's, we sell labels to a few of those entities, and 2 of them are now ordering toner from me. So like just things that they didn't realize that we did. And so it's just by already having that trust established, then, oh, if there's more you can do for us, yeah, heck yeah, we'll use you. And so that has been really good. I really enjoyed just getting to know everybody in the pod. It feels like a good little intimate group to kind of share our struggles and our doubts and encourage each other. And by listening to other people's struggles, you kind of can think of ways to help them really easily, more than you would think to help yourself. So that's been huge for me. The accountability factor, I am like the queen of procrastination. So knowing that I've got this group to come and talk to every week, and I want to make sure that I did what I said I was going to do, is helping tremendously. I've actually last week was like setting up my appointments on Friday instead of usually I'm doing it Monday or Tuesday. So I felt like, wow, look at me ahead of the game. Robert kind of inspired me with his chamber efforts I joined the Saline Chamber of Commerce right at the beginning of the pandemic. We had just moved to Saline, and then everything kind of went haywire. So I haven't done anything with it, but I just renewed my membership. And so that's kind of encouraged me, like, hey, I've got a whole community here that I live in, I'm a part of. How can I help them? How can I get to know them? And so really, I think too, instead of trying to get that sale, I'm really getting more comfortable just wanting to serve other people and how I can help them. And then I'm getting a lot better at just listening in conversations for how can I start doing some better referrals to my Caerusnet team, as well as Kim and Robert. So that's been really good. Kim has introduced me to a couple of people in her Caerusnet groups. I'm having lunch with Jessica Grima tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. And so it's just, I feel like it's just like this big snowball effect that it's just kind of continuously building upon itself. So.
Very good. Very good. Has it been hard?
In the beginning, it was. I feel like the first couple of weeks, I was like, I don't want to do this. What did I get myself involved in? And now it's like, oh my gosh, this is fun. I look forward to it every single week. So it's really, really good.
I'm so proud of all of you. So I would like to share a couple testimonials from this group as well. One is quite by accident, I had a guest here. Well, it wasn't an accident, she was a guest, Joy Detting from, I don't remember what group she's in, you know, Steve, yeah, but anyways, Joy came, Joy and I'm a client of Joy's, and she wanted to set up a call, and I said, why don't you come to this first? You can meet some of these other people. So she came and she talked a little bit about what she does. And then she sends me an email going, and all of you were like immediately like, oh, I'd like to have a trust builder with her, you know? So you are so in tune now to getting to know someone at a deeper level. And Katie, she just emailed me that you became a client. So, and that was just from a guest showing up, right? So, but my favorite story of all of this is that when I had a scheduling conflict and came to you guys and said, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go to every other week, or we'll have to find something else to do. You guys just rallied on your own and said, we do not want to stop this. We do not want to wait 2 weeks. So you took it on yourselves, and last week you had your first session together and it went great. So Kim took over sending the Zoom link and you all co-led it, and that's a testimony of this is what happens. And I refer to the analogy of most of us are going through our business lives trying to paddle a canoe or a kayak by ourselves. What you have started to do is you're rowing as a team together. And as you do this, it becomes easier and effortless. And you've got each other's backs, because I've said all along, collectively, we have the answers, right? It's never up to just the facilitator. Steve, you know this, as a facilitator, we just kind of manage the group and the space, but when someone's got an issue, someone else in this room's got a suggestion. I mean, Robert, your phrase of if I, would you, has been impactful to me. How many of us has that been impactful to, right? Every one of us, right? So just something as simple as that we didn't know that we didn't know. So this is the best part about it. And I do have to ask, because I know you all have said, it's the accountability. I love the accountability. So I don't know about you, but accountability in my world was accountability, right? So it was kind of punitive. But I think what you've seen is it's a supportive accountability, right? It's, we don't want you to fail, so we're here to prop you up when you're struggling, not of you didn't do your homework kind of a thing. So that's why I'm loving this group. And so I've had the honor of being your facilitator for the last, well, this will be our 6th week now. So we're halfway through the program, so. All right.
It's been great. And I will tell you, and I think we all felt that when you said, oh, we're going to go to every other, we're finally like getting the momentum. And it was like, oh, wait a minute, now we're stopped. And like, wait a minute, we can't. So it was like, we wanted to keep that momentum going. We really, it's been great.
Very good. Steve, you have any comments real quick before we go into what last week's commitments were and go through that? Well,
yeah, I've got a few. I've taken a few notes here and there all over the place. That's just how I roll. But just wanted to say, I love hearing all of the things that I heard. And this was the reason that Denise and I took a risk at offering this. And we knew that it wasn't going to be easy, because to get anybody to try something new and to be the first people to try to do something, especially, hey, it's starting now when people book out already 90 days or 6 months. We're very grateful to have you as the pioneers of this pod, and really appreciate the way you've done this with true heart and with true integrity. And you're going to inspire future classes of people that are going to also up their game and up their understanding and get that positive support and accountability from other people, which really is so important, because the majority of small business people are solopreneurs. The majority are. So just a few things that I wanted to mention, because I thought they're worth mentioning. One of them is Joy Detling, for example. Joy, at her Caerusnet meeting today, gave me a very nice testimonial, because I decided about a year ago, one of the things that I was missing was some of that supportive accountability in a way that makes it so I'm touching bases with new members when they're joining to try to check in with them. So Joy had only been a member for about 6 months of the Wednesday 10 o'clock group. And about a month ago, she sends me the email titled "Canceling My Membership." And, I get that email from people, as much as I get the email from people that are joining a team. And but when people join Caerusnet now, it's a 1-year mental and financial commitment. I tell them, look, don't join if you can't look out a year in your life, because it takes a while to learn the stuff and apply it and find your way and build the relationships. So I've had 4 people in this last year that have messaged me inside of their 1 year that they didn't think it was a good fit, needed to quit. 2 of them I inspired to keep it going. And as a result of that, both the house cleaner and Joy have gotten business they've gotten better results, and they feel that it was because of the heart-to-heart that we had, and they're inspired. They're great members. The other two, it truly just wasn't a good fit. They didn't have the capacity, and it's a year contract. So if they've got 4 months left or 6 months left, I offer to meet them halfway. But I don't want people joining a group that are going to quit quickly, because I want the members of the teams to feel safe pouring into new people. And if they're always thinking to themselves, well, geez, people join and then they quit in 90 days, I'll wait and see how long this one lasts before I do a trust builder with them. That's not the right way for it to go. So I think we're getting the combination of things to really kind of support people with their different needs. And I appreciate the flexibility that we have in the Caerusnet model to keep growing and adapting to the needs that people have today, because their needs today are different than they were 2 years ago and 3 years ago. That's all I have for you, Denise.
Very good. No, that's great.
Except also thank you, because you and I have incredibly productive meetings yourself. And I always tell everybody, I really appreciate it. Every time I meet with Denise, she's got an agenda. We draw lines through everything we need to talk about after we're done talking about sports, and then we're off to the races.
Yes. Very good. Thank you, Steve. So let's get into what we do here in this program. And since I'll start this one because it was 2 weeks ago that I was here.